I have Joe Hendry here with me. What what's new? That's the easiest way I could uh, ask how your week and month has been going.
Everything, Bill. I'll need you to be slightly more specific.
Yeah, we uh, we saw you on WWE TV this week. You have a big title match coming up. There's a lot to get into, but I'll start with how you feeling about the ovation you've been getting from the WWE universe.
I've had this conversation a few times in the word people mention the word validating, and that is the perfect way to put it. Is just AJ Styles talked about it, going into that environment and not knowing if people are going to know who you are or
Mhm.
react. And I think you can see in when I debuted, that's a very real reaction for me, and I think that's why the clip did so well. I'm very privileged to say that it's gone on to become WWE's most watched video this year so far on
Mhm.
X. So very proud of that. Happy, and I was very proud to represent TNA and do a great job for WWE as well.
Uh, I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm trying to ask repeat questions in a fresh
No,
way.
no,
So
yeah,
I'm sure you've answered some of them quite a few
that's
times.
okay. Yeah.
So it's the nature of the business. But
Oh, of course, of course.
one of the cool things about seeing you on this journey, I've known your work since Ring of Honor. That's sort of when I got on. But you have fans from the What Culture days. You have Ring of Honor fans. You have TNA fans. Now, there's a whole group, like a whole entire different fan base that's getting a chance to see your work because maybe they weren't fans of those other promotions. Maybe, like wrestling fandom, I feel like is still in a bubble where I might think, oh, I see a lot more than the average fan because it's just kind of day to day, like you cover everything. But what's been the most exciting thing so far about being introduced to a new fan base?
I think I've had the advantage of being so busy that I haven't really had time to overthink anything. It's just all been
Mhm.
happening so fast, and I've just enjoyed like the wave of positivity that's come my way. And really, my only concern is just to do the absolute best job that I can. I will say, when I've had time to look, I've been really overwhelmed and feel very grateful for just that's the best way to put it, the wave of positivity that has come my way. Yeah.
Had to. Uh, it's been fun because the first appearance, people were like, wait, like we didn't get enough of him. And then it was like, when's it going to happen? It's like, it's better to, you hear the quote all the time. It's better to leave them
Leave
wanting
them wanting
more,
more.
right?
Yep.
So you got the match this week. I mean, I'm sure it's a very fluid situation, but what's your personal end game for this? Like, I know you mentioned wanting to face John Cena, but other than that, what is your overall goal for this?
To do the absolute best that I can.
Mhm.
It's as simple as that. Like this is one thing that I've learned from working with great people in the industry is that all you can do is do your absolute best. Control what you can control and do your absolute best. And that's all I'm going to do. Anytime I'm presented with an opportunity, I'm just going to give them an absolute best that I possibly can. And I've noticed that by having that attitude, great things have been happening.
Mhm.
And yeah, I've just been very open to going in the direction that the wind's taken me. I didn't expect to have such great chemistry with Trick. We kind of wrestled and had some fun in the ring after the match, and then we shot like a promo afterwards that I
Mhm.
think the fans have really reacted well to. And I think they're kind of seeing, I don't think there were any plans necessarily to have us as like a duo, but I think people are quite enjoying the kind of odd couple team
Mhm.
of me and Trick Williams. So I'm kind of, I enjoyed that too. So I actually don't know what direction, if any direction, things are going to
Mhm.
go in. I think the fans would like to see more, but I guess you just have to keep tuning in to both TNA and NXT to see.
Mhm. I'll just say this. You've told the story before, but you basically booked yourself into a match with Kurt Angle before. So I think if anybody's gonna maybe call their own shot or speak things into existence, I trust that you're the guy to do it. So I'll just
I
leave it at
appreciate
that.
that.
I'll leave it at that. Uh, let's talk Slammiversary now. This is TNA's biggest show in 10 years. The stat was after 48 hours of tickets being on sale, Slammiversary had more tickets sold than any other TNA show in the past 10 years. So certainly big from the very announcement. You're in the main event in a title match, 6-way elimination match for the TNA World Championship. Moose has been on quite a run. Talk to me about the match. How you're feeling about not only getting a chance to use this wave of momentum that you're on, but matching up against 5 of TNA's best names, and Moose, Josh Alexander, Steve Macklin, Nick Nemeth, and Kazarian.
So I had a very cool conversation with management probably 2 months ago, where I got a phone call and they said, "Congrats, you've done so well that you've disrupted the plans." And the word disrupted is something that I wear proudly, because everything I'm doing is disruptive. Getting billboards outside Clash at the Castle, just having fun with social media, calling everybody out. I feel like I'm just embracing the fun with the fans, the social media aspect. So yeah, I'm having so much fun with everything that's going on. I do feel that professional wrestling is in a place where anything can happen. And that's when professional wrestling is at its best. I also think we're in an era where the fans are getting what they want. The fans are winning, the companies are winning, the wrestlers are winning. And right now, the fans want to see Joe Hendry carrying TNA. They want to see Joe Hendry as the champion in TNA. They want to see Joe Hendry as the face of TNA. And I've got the opportunity to go in and deliver on that.
I won't ask you what the plan was, but did they tell you the original plan? And were you kind of like, oh, all right,
no,
pat on the back?
No. Nope. They just says, congrats, you've disrupted the plans.
Well, continue disrupting. You mentioned Clash at the Castle and all the signs and stuff. So I got to ask this: any news on the Las Vegas Sphere? How much did you look into that?
So it basically got to a point where to hire the actual Sphere is like for to actually hire it yourself is like a 6-figure sum. So that's not something we're going to be able to do. But I was speaking to someone who claimed to be from an advertising firm who's doing something with the Sphere, and they were like, "Can we could include you for one rotation or blah blah blah." But when I asked that person to provide credentials for who they were, they went quiet. So unfortunately, I don't think we're any further forward with the Sphere. But if you know anything about me, when there's a will, there's a way. I think there probably is a scenario where we can get me on the Sphere, because I think that'd be hilarious. But the billboard's a good start.
I don't know the exact dates, but TNA loves going to Las Vegas, so maybe the next time you guys go back out there, maybe
it's entirely possible.
It's more likely. Let's go back to the Slammiversary main event. This is a fun show where there's a lot of mainstays, there's a lot of newer talent. I'm talking all across the card. You have Ash by Elegance challenging Jordan Grace for the Knockouts title. Mustafa Ali against Mike Bailey for the X Division Championship. I mentioned your opponents in the World Championship match. Obviously, you want to walk away with the title. You talked about the fans getting behind you and being the face of the company. Is there one of those guys that you're looking forward to just being in the ring with most out of any?
No. I'm looking forward to becoming the champion. That's the goal. I'm grateful for all the moments and all the amazing competitors that I've had the opportunity to share the ring with. But I believe I've been in the ring with every single one of the people in that match, except Nick Nemeth, actually. So I will say that will be cool. But in all due respect to Nick, he's a legend. He's done some amazing things. He's one of the best. It's my time, though.
It'll be cool to see the dynamic while it's going on. I'll just say that. I do want to talk about your evolution of sorts, because I got a chance to talk to Ace Steel a few weeks ago, and I mentioned this to him, but it reminded me of a quote when we actually talked. I don't know, it was like 2 years ago, maybe, or I don't remember the time frame, but you kind of talked about how visually you wanted to present yourself and change uh, your appearance based on you see other, what you consider a wrestling superstar. So you dyed your hair, you changed your look a little bit, and he was talking about bringing killer instincts where he can get you from where you're at to another level. Can you just talk? I'd like to get your side of how it's been working with him. What obviously he said he wants to teach you the killer instinct. It was a more direct answer, but is there something that you've really honed in on that he's taught you that it finally made like what he's trying to teach you click?
I think they summarized it perfectly with the killer instinct. And actually, one thing that Ace spoke to me about that I didn't even realize was he said that after my debut, he said I cut my promo in a different style. Usually, I'm very sort of like this, and this is
Mm-hmm.
the emotion. But when I was in NXT, it was like there was an urgency to what I was saying. And actually, that is what me and Ace Steel have been working on in the ring. But it's interesting how just by doing that, it like subconsciously bled over into how I've been cutting my promos as well. So that was something that was very interesting to me, and Ace pointed that out. Ace he's a phenomenal wrestling mind, and I think that having a student of the game mentality. I've been training with him. I've been training with Natalia. Like I'm just trying to become the best wrestler I can be. And I think if you want to look at what Ace Steel's taught me, all you have to do is look at my match with Jake Something from a couple of weeks ago and compare that to a match that I would have had, last year. I think that you can see the impact that Ace Steel has had on my career for sure.
Would you say that best represents who you are as a wrestler right now? That match with Jake?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I
And
usually
and the NXT one too, and the NXT match that I just had. Both of them are perfect representations of who I am and who I'm trying to become.
anything positive you want to say about working with AJ Francis? Just positive, no slight. I want you to
Can't
say
do it.
something. I want you to
Can't do it.
say positive.
I can say something positive, but it's just not possible to be fair and say only positive things about AJ Francis. I will say this. So first of all, let me get the negatives out of the way. Guy's unbearable. Like someone needs to take his phone and throw it away. I mean, take his phone and throw it away and never give it back to him. He needs someone who he holds dear to say, AJ, I don't think you should post that. You know that there's been a couple of those. I'm saying it, and you're laughing because things are coming. Jay is super underrated at what he does. He's the perfect foil for me and what I'm doing.
Mhm.
So I think that me and AJ working together is an example of us being on a certain place in the card, working together, and at the end of it, well, now we're both key guys in a company. So that was a great piece of business for all involved, and AJ is a big part of that for sure.
All right. I'll wrap on this. I kind of joked about it earlier, about asking stuff that you haven't really covered yet. Everybody believes in Joe Hendry. Who does Joe Hendry believe in right now? I'm gonna leave that a little vague. It could be, somebody you work with, yourself. I don't, I'm leaving it open. Who does Joe Hendry believe in?
John Cena.
All right. Anything else you want to plug or promote before we get out of here? I mentioned Slammiversary is coming up, big weekend in Montreal. I'll leave it to you to plug anything
So
else.
as well as coming to see Slammiversary, make sure you get tickets for the next day because the next day is when we're going to have you're going to have the opportunity to meet all the TNA superstars. We've got an awesome meet and greet happening then. So it's going to be two action-packed days. Make sure you come to both. It's going to be the biggest weekend in over a decade in company history. So come down and be a part of history.
That's right. July 20th is Slammiversary, July 21st, Impact TV tapings. There's all the information on the TNA Wrestling website. Thanks for your time. It was good catching up, and I look forward to seeing what you do next.
Good to talk to you, Bill. Thank you.